Any similarities between R.J. Madison and his dad?
His dad played defense for us in Virginia, so his dad didn't play offense until he went to the NFL. RJ's been an offensive player pretty much his whole career, so that's, I think, the biggest difference there. His dad was a big, tough, physical guy, and certainly I think RJ fits into that category.
Coach, is DeAndre Morgan hurt?
He's on the 2D.
So that means he's not hurt.
There's no injury report. You can ask me Thursday.
Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday's when the injury report comes out.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Whatever's Tuesday is Thursday. You figure it out. There's no injury report on Sunday.
Doesn't mean I can't try. So what, Sunday?
Today's
Okay.
Sunday.
I'll ask you again on
Did
Sunday.
you go to church?
No.
Okay.
I'm going tomorrow, Saturday. Has Tchaikovsky, early in camp I remember you saying that he was having trouble, that type of thing. Has he kind of regained his consistency there at the
He's
kicker?
been very consistent since that first scrimmage. So, he's kicked the ball well. He's done extremely well in practice. But I think from that point, the next 3 scrimmages he might have missed 1 field goal. So it's been, it's been very good for us.
Doc, could you give us an overview of what you think South Carolina might throw at you, just from a personnel standpoint, sort of an overview of what you think they have?
Well, certainly on defense, they led their conference last year in defense. They have Norwood back. I don't think they're going to change their defense. Their defensive staff is pretty much intact. Offensively, they have all new coaches, so we're not exactly sure of what they're doing. Of course, Coach Spurrier's still there, so the passing game won't change much. They've talked more about different ways of running the ball and trying to run the football better, so we're not exactly sure what that entails. They've taken the freshman, reading some of their scrimmage reports, and he's played in the Wildcat formation or whatever they call it down there. The kid that's the corner, Gilmore, has played some quarterback, so that's the newest thing in college football. So we have to be ready for that type of thing on offense.
A lot of differences with both teams, but the fact that you're opening up with the same team you opened up last year, is that any kind of a measuring stick at all as to how far you've come from last year this time to now?
Well, I think it's good, especially when you play out of conference people to play back to back, and because that gives you a couple years worth of knowledge and preparation as you go through things. I don't like the idea of playing a team once this year and then 6 years later you go play them again. You don't know anything about them. So, I like the fact that we're doing it. It certainly, as I said, will give us a measuring stick at where we are in relationship to where we were last year at this point. It certainly does.
You want your guys to think about last year's game, or do you want them to put it out of their minds?
Well, no, we'll look at the tape, but there's no such thing as revenge. It was our fault when we lost 34-0. I think the thing that we can gain on is, we can't make the mistakes that we made last year and expect to be in the football game. Certainly we have to be much better on offense and keep the defense off the field. They wore down in the fourth quarter of last year's game, played pretty good till then. So, but again, it's a new year. Who knows what's going to bring? We have to be ready to play from the outset and play great football in order to win.
Coach, can you take me through Russell last year in the South Carolina game, from maybe how he started? Looked like maybe he was starting to get into a rhythm when he got hurt, and then what your initial thoughts were as you saw him go down?
Well, I think he played like a true redshirt freshman in a big stadium with a lot of people. Not that he's not a confident guy, but still in that situation it's kind of overwhelming. It takes a while to get into the flow of things, which he did. And I think once he got into the flow of things and we kind of got him settled down, Russell's kind of a hyper guy. He gets a little too much excited, and we have to calm him down a couple times in a couple different situations, even at the end of last year. So, it certainly was, things were spinning at a high rate for him, but as he calmed down, he was starting to get into the rhythm of things, and certainly when he went down, it was a very difficult situation for all of us because we didn't know what the outcome of his injury was going to be. And luckily for us, it wasn't as bad as it first appeared to be on the football field. So I think that's my only thoughts on that.
With Russell, one of the emphasis you've had is trying to get him to slide and everything and avoid contact more. How is that coming along that you've seen, or is that something you feel he's got a ways to go with that?
No, he's got a good slide now. Obviously worked on it in summer baseball when he's been there coming back. And, we don't want to discourage him from running. We don't want to discourage him from doing some of the things that are really his strengths. But, he has to do a little better job in the decision-making process of when to take a hit, when to get down, and when to run out of bounds. He can use the out of bounds to get out and help himself too. So, he's just so competitive that he thinks he can always get that extra yard, but certainly that extra yard is a lot better saved to save your body early in the game, and you don't have to do some of those things in the fourth quarter if the game's on the line.
Can you talk just a little bit more? You were saying how Russell's kind of a hyper. We don't see that side of him when we're talking to him. He's kind of a 1,000-yard stare kind of a guy. Can you just talk more about how he is in the locker room before a game, in the huddle maybe, when you're talking to him on the sidelines in a tight situation?
Well, I think he's calm in the huddle, and I think he's not like that in the locker room. I think once he gets on the field and his competitiveness takes over, he wants to do everything at warp speed. And sometimes you can't play, certainly a quarterback at warp speed. You have to relax, and sometimes you've got to let things happen and evolve as they come about, and take them as they come about. So, he's just so competitive that he wants to do so well and make every play. He's not perfect. He's not going to make every play. He's got to accept some facts. Now, he's got good quarterback mentality. He does make a mistake. And he doesn't let it affect his next play. I'm not saying that. He does a good job that way too, but he just has to relax a little more out there and just play the game at normal speed, not Russell speed.
How comfortable are you at Nate's old position with Dwayne and Terrell?
I'd certainly rather have Nate, but now that we can't, they're going to have to carry the load. They're going to have to step up and make plays. And it's an opportunity for both of them, and they're both going to get in the game and play. We have to see how Manning does in game situations. So, how many snaps he gets, I don't know, but he's certainly going to play a good portion of the football game.
What's a little Wolf done to get himself into too deep?
Earl came in. He's really a physical player, which is what you wanted at that position. I think the thing is he has much greater knowledge of the defense than he does pre-spring. He did a good job learning the defense. He's much better at executing the things we want to get executed out of him with the defense, and that's the same thing as all those other guys. Whether you win the number 1 or number 2 spot, you've obviously done what you have to do to move into that position.
Talk a little bit about C.J. Wilson.
CJ's really done a tremendous job through camp. In spring practice, when we were down, Morgan was out with the hamstring there in spring. That gave some of those younger guys, and once again, it was a blessing. They got to play a little more, and their development speeded up. He's done extremely well in the scrimmages, and has put himself in position to see what he can do on Thursday night.
Anything else?
Okay. 7:03, don't forget that.